So guys, we are back with the cheap 2015 Outback project car. Now I know we haven't seen it in quite a while. It has been away. It is finally back in my possession. We are going to do a video checking out the car, full inspection front to back, just like when we purchased the car almost 2 years ago. We're within about a week of the 2-year anniversary. It was June of 2023 when I picked it up off of Facebook Marketplace from Denton, North Carolina, and we had 230,000 miles on the car. The car now has 260,000 miles on it, 40,000 miles away from the big 300,000, and we're gonna do a bumper-to-bumper inspection, like I said, once again, checking everything out, seeing how it's held up over the last 2 years and 30,000 miles of ownership, and also talk about some of the issues, if any, I've had in that amount of time, and what it has cost me above and beyond what we put into the initial purchase of the car, the initial repairs of the car, and just where it fares over the last 2 years of ownership. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into the inspection. So guys, quickly getting you up to speed if you weren't familiar with the first video, which I'll put up in the top corner or try to link in the description of this car. We purchased this car in June of 2023 at 230,000 miles for $6,000. It is a 2015 2.5i Premium. We have put limited 18-inch wheels with brand new Michelin Defender tires on it. We did a trim restoration with some Cerakote to bring back the black accents and the plastic at the bottom of the car here. We did a Meguiar's headlight restoration kit 2 years ago when we picked it up. It's starting to get a little bit cloudy now. We're probably going to go through and redo that with the new Cerakote kit that I recently got. Other than that, things we did was we installed a leather interior from a 2019 Limited that had flipped, rolled, and been totaled out at like 16,000 miles. I just thoroughly detailed the inside of this car. Still needs some cleaning, but it's much better than the way I got it back from my ex. So we have conditioned the leather seats. We have the leather and wood grain on the dash and the panels. We got the leather wheel now. When I got the car, it was a base or a premium cloth interior, and it was pretty wrecked. The guy that had it had children, small children, and they had crammed a bunch of junk into the cloth interior, especially in the back around the center console. Again, if you check back on that video, I think there was cake frosting, some other stuff in there. Other than that, the interior is really, really good. Other than the headliner, there's a lot of staining on it. I have not bothered to buy a new headliner yet just because of the cost of it and the benefit of it. I really didn't see it. But other than that, it is a much nicer place to be with the leather interior. And it already had heated seats, added power for the passenger seat because it was not a power seat. We did get a nav head unit, but they are not plug and play compatible between the Premium and the Limited. I found that out. So Subaru is not the Lego car it used to be back in the day. On to the rear here, as I mentioned in the first video, it did not have the rear bumper protector. I did pick that up from Subaru Parts Deals, added that to the car. We had the cargo cover. We had the all-weather floor mats already. This car originally was a Johnson & Johnson fleet car. I assume that's most of the mileage on it, as I mentioned again in that first video. As far as overall wear and tear on the exterior, I popped out most of the small dents and covered up most of the scratches the car had. And the main issue now is just the fact that it hasn't really been washed in over a year. So I need to do a good hand scrub wash because it's been kind of neglected. Also, we need to do a tire rotation because I can't remember the last time that I rotated the tires on this car. Recently did an oil change at 255,000. We're almost to 260,000, so almost time for another oil change. Aside for that, the only issue I know of is the rear brakes are very thin. I have brand new Subaru Genuine rotors and pads. We're not going to cover that in this video, but there will be a soon to come rear brake video on this 2015 Outback with eyesight. Not that we haven't done it before, but just another refresher. Now, as far as under the hood, it is a little bit dirty under here. It was quite grungy when I got the car, did quite a bit of cleaning, but again, have not cleaned up under here since I picked it up in June of 2023. Going back through the old repair videos on this car, we did do a coolant replacement, if I remember right, a thermostat, for the CVT thermostat for the engine. We did the PCV union under the AC compressor. We did the crossover pipe O-rings because they were leaking and losing coolant there. We did the cam cover gaskets. We did an engine air filter. We did a serpentine belt. We've done plenty of oil changes, as I mentioned before. Just put a new cabin air filter in it. Had to put a cabin air filter in it when I bought it in 23. I was a year over. That should be done annually. It was pretty gummed up. Our old diehard battery here that was installed right before we picked it up in June 23 is doing well. Other than that, there's no real issues with the car. It's never left me stranded, never given me an issue with like a check engine light, etc. Other than the things that we already covered, which was the rear parking brake caliper electrical connectors. We covered the service bulletin on that, where the pigtail lock breaks and the plug comes partially loose and gives you an error message, but there is a small pigtail extension you can buy to lock those connectors on there. Subaru will do it under an extended safety warranty, TSB. I'm not exactly sure how they phrase it. Otherwise, the kit's like $5, $10 over the counter. I just bought it and made a video on it to educate you guys. And then as far as any other issues, aside for that, we did have a random misfire when we got the car. I don't think it ever threw a check engine light. We used the Subaru roughness monitor to find that. Initially thought there was an issue with the CVT with an intermittent slip, but it was a misfire issue, as it had been quite a while since it was tuned up last, and those cam covers were leaking oil into the spark plug tubes. So we got all that cleared up. It has been really good the last 30,000 miles of driving after getting all that initial repair done. All in all, remembering back, I purchased the car for $6,000 off of Marketplace as it was. And between the brand new wheels, tires, the entire leather interior, all of the parts that we did as far as the serpentine belt, the cam covers, the PCV valve hose, everything that we've done so far, I think I've got a grand total of $9,500 in this car, which I don't think is too terrible. You guys let me know in the comments below if you think I wasted money on this super high mileage old Outback. I mean, it's now 10 years old, 2015 and 2025. But other than that, it's been great. It did have an oil consumption issue, as I mentioned in the previous video, according to the original owner, or the second owner, the guy that I bought it from. And we had all of the oil buildup here from constantly topping the engine oil up. I switched to a blend of 530 and 020 synthetic. If I remember right, I normally use 3 quarts of 530 and 2 of 020. I think this is a 5 quart. It's been a while since I've done an oil change or looked at the spec, but I do a blend. And I have not had issue with having the oil light come on between oil changes or having to top up doing 5,000 mile oil changes. Now, my ex did have the light come on one time, but she went over 1,000 miles over to 6,000 miles for an oil change, which is Subaru spec, but it's too much for me. 5,000 miles, I believe, should be your oil change allotment interval. Now, as far as other issues I have found since having the car, this upper radiator hose tends to swell. It is swollen now. It needs to be replaced. And as you can see, we've got the telltale sign of it pushing back from the radiator neck. Now that can be two things. That can be a head gasket issue, over pressurizing the cooling system because of those combustion gases getting into the coolant and causing overpressurization of the hoses and the system, causing these springs to start pushing back. But again, this is a 10-year-old car, 260,000 miles. It's an original hose and original radiator. It is starting to swell from age. These constant tension spring clamps don't hold their tension forever. They're probably weakening up. So it could be a combination of just this hose and this radiator and this clamp are old, and not so much that there is an actual head gasket issue. Although I have found that at operational temperature, sometimes that lower hose is cool to the touch, like there is a air pocket behind the thermostat, which was common on the older EJs when they had head gasket issues, that you get a pocket of combustion gases behind the thermostat, preventing the thermostat from opening because that hot coolant couldn't touch it, and your upper radiator hose would be scalding hot operational temperature, and your lower hose would be lukewarm to warm to the touch. Now, aside for that, like I said, we did the cam cover gaskets and all that. We are seeing a little bit of seepage here that we did not have coming down the timing chain cover. We got some buildup around the injectors and the front of the engine. We will be getting this up in the air, pulling the lower engine cover and inspecting everything under there once again, as well as the back of the car, and you know, wrapping it up from there. Now, another little note, as I stated at the beginning, when I purchased the car, it was low on coolant. They said it had not overheated on them. I think I put about 1/3 of a gallon of water to get the cooling system up to where it should be. We found the dried coolant down by the O-rings and the PCV union, assuming we had an external link down there. But I've topped this reservoir up at least once in the last 2 months, and we're down almost to the low again. So we are losing some coolant. We do have residue here, but most of that I think is spillage from the radiator neck. I don't think we're actually losing coolant here. I do think that maybe it is starting to eat some coolant through the head gaskets. Now, head gaskets are not a common issue or a common failure on the FA FB series engine like the older EJs, but with time, age, and mileage, they have started to get some of those issues with head gaskets. I mean, we're at 260,000 miles, guys, on a 10-year-old car. I'm not mad at it for eating a little bit of coolant and eating a little bit of oil. You might disagree with me. Again, let me know down in the comments below. So one other issue really quick I want to touch on is the alternator. Just about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I got in this car to go drive it for the first time in a while. Got to the driveway here and noticed that the battery light was on, which means the alternator is not putting out. Now, I went and checked the voltage at the battery, and I had 11 some odd volts. Cut the car off, started the car back up, and the battery light went out. We then had a little bit over 12 volts at the battery and at the positive of the output on the alternator. So I assumed that the alternator was finally dying at 10 years and 260,000 miles, which again, wouldn't be mad at it if it did decide that was time for it to go. So took the alternator off, took it to my local Advanced Auto Parts. We put it in the alternator starter tester, and it gave a green starter, tested fine. So I'm not sure if we're intermittently failing, if it was a fact of it being a rainy day and there was some kind of issue with high humidity and moisture and something internally acting up in the alternator. We're gonna test that again later on. I haven't driven the car because I'm a little bit afraid of getting caught somewhere. Have priced out the Subaru genuine alternator from Subaru Parts Deals, and I believe it's about $400 or $500, which is spendy, but as far as Subarus go, they're very picky about alternators. If you get an alternator from a parts house, it likely will not even last till the warranty on the part. I've had many die in the past. We did a couple of videos. I'll try to link up in the corner again on rebuilding alternators. It's much cheaper, much more cost effective to rebuild than replace. A lot of people don't do that anymore, but it's not that difficult to do. And again, that's just one more little asterisk of an issue, but car has never left me stranded, never gave me an issue. I've drove it to Virginia, I've drove it to Orlando, I've drove it all over the place, and it's been a great car over the last 2 years. So this is the part I'm sure a lot of you are waiting for, and that is looking underneath the engine. Now, I've noticed recently there's been quite a bit of oil on the bottom of the engine splash guard here. Now, if you remember back to the original video, we didn't see any external leakage of the cam carriers or the head gasket, but I fear that might have changed, or the rear main seal leak we talked about might be a lot worse. So guys, this is both my and your first look under this car in 30,000 miles. I've not dropped this splash guard since. Now, I do have a bit of oil accumulation on the front sway bar and on our front cross member, as well as our lower oil pan. Now, before we said there was no seepage on our cam carriers nor head gaskets, and as we can see, it is still dry under here, and we are dry now on the cam covers where we replace those cam cover gaskets. But we are literally wet, as you can see from the sheen there, and I can pretty much call rear main seal is leaking on this car, or the very back upper part of the upper oil pan. But other than that, that's it. If you'll remember back, we had oil and stuff all over this front differential and CVT. after cleaning it off, it is now still nice and clean. So what I said at the time 2 years ago was accurate, that oil was dripping down off of the back of the engine block out of that rear main seal and splashing back, and apparently I was right, because all the oil is now again just on this cross member sway bar and on those oil pans. And again, looking over here on the passenger side, we are dry at the parting lines. Now there's a little bit of oil right there, but I'm pretty sure that was there and I just didn't clean it off when I did the cam cover reseal on that side. So we'll spray all this back off again and monitor it. But very happy to see that we don't have leakage from the timing chain cover, from the cam carriers, or the head gaskets externally, or anything basically other than rear main seal, with 260,000 miles on this FB25. All right, guys, got it all sprayed off with brake parts cleaner, got all that oil and buildup off of there, or most of it. And again, it is just pretty clean and dry under here, other than that rear main seal leaking. Now up top, we did have a little bit of grunge, and I do think that is the cam carriers leaking on top and dripping down, rather than leaking near the timing chain cover and the bottom. So I think we do have a little bit of leakage there. I think that might have started from that PCV system being neglected, but we did change that all out. Now, as far as suspension goes, we still need to put a new set of struts on this thing. They are the factory originals. It still rides okay, but it's not great. It should have been done 200,000 miles ago. Now, we have put new CV axles on the front, new ball joints on the front, if I remember right, and I think we put a new hub bearing on the driver's side for noise. And I believe I put 2 rear hub bearings on it not too long ago for noise as well. Now, looking at the rear, as I said before, we had those yellow locking pins there for that TSB on the connectors for the rear brake caliper. Still no rust, of course, living in the Southeast. We still got a little bit of wear on those bushings and things. But other than that, everything looks pretty good, aside from, needing struts and the rear brakes. But no real rust, corrosion. Probably about time to service the differentials again. It's been 30,000 miles, about 5,000 more miles. We'll do the rear and front differentials again, and the CVT fluid. And other than that, nothing really on the agenda, nothing really urgent, nothing really needing to be done. And before we go, real quick, testing out the alternator. We got 14.2 volts. That's the most I've seen out of a while. It had 12 before and under 12 before that. But again, it was raining, and we might have a alternator that's slowly dying. 260,000 miles. We got some crusties here. Need to clean up these terminals. But other than that, we're putting out like we should right now on this nice 80-degree dry day. So might as well go ahead and order the new alternator, keep it in the back of the car with a couple wrenches, just in case we need to change it out, in case we get somewhere and it decides to kick the bucket. So guys, there you have it. 2015 260,000 mile Outback. It is in phenomenal shape still today. I think you might disagree with the little bit of oil leakage we had from that rear main seal and the couple little things it needs here and there, like that alternator that could be about $400 or $500. But other than that, for $9,500 total investment, 30,000 miles of driving over the last 2 years, it has never broke down, never left me stranded, never given me any kind of issue that was out of my scope of repairing it here in the driveway. We have not had an engine failure. We have not had a CVT failure. We have not had any major catastrophe whatsoever. This car is a testament to Subaru's reliability and showing that Subarus are just as capable as any other brand at achieving reliable, high mileage service. Now, as I've stated many times before, my 2002 LL Bean Outback I started the channel with 10, 11, 12 years ago has 303,000 miles on it. This one's got 260 on it. We're going to put 300 on it. And we have many other Subarus with over 250 and over 300,000 miles on them. I'm sure there's plenty of you in the comments down below that can attest to owning one of these high mileage Subarus that are still reliable. Now let this be a testament once again to Subaru's reliability when they're properly serviced, properly maintained, and properly cared for. A lot of the stigma that comes around Subarus with issues comes to a head when you look at neglect, you look at lack of services and lack of maintenance performed on most of these vehicles. A lot of times it is the owner's fault, not the manufacturer, not the vehicle's fault. I know a lot of people don't like hearing that, but personal accountability plays a big role in how your vehicle holds up at the end of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for future Subaru and tool content. Let me know, again, your thoughts and feelings down in the comment section below. Do you have a higher mileage Subaru? Has it cost you an arm and a leg, or has it been a cheap, reliable source of transportation? Let me know your stories down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.